different countries have taken various approaches to preventing the spread of the new Omicron variant. South African scientists discovering the new variant, but the country now seemingly being put on the red list by several countries, with some suggesting that this is actually punishment. Let's talk now to international relations expert Brookes Spector, who's also the associate editor at the Daily Maverick. He joins us via the virtual platform. Brookes, a very good morning to you, and thank you for your time. I listened to President Joe Biden last night, and his take on this, or the reasoning, let me put it that way, the reasoning for putting a travel ban on southern African countries is that he wants to give his country time to prepare, get those who have vaccinated but feel that they need boosters to get those jabs in the arms. Is that a good enough reason?
Well, I think the phrase abundance of caution was something that I picked up from an even earlier comment by Dr. Anthony Fauci. And the idea being that no one knows yet the level of virulence or the rate of spread or the effectiveness of vaccines that have already been administered for the Omicron variant. And if those are true, then the reasoning goes that you need a timeout, in effect, to try to the gates again. Whether or not it makes sense, if, as some people are arguing, the Omicron variant is already in the U.S., and it's certainly in Canada and a number of other countries, if it's already in the U.S., and because obviously you can't test every single person in the country, then this may well be an effort that is too late and a dollar short. Let's put it that way. And if that's so, then you're left scratching your head as to whether or not it's more for show and less for medical effect.
All right. So you then bring me to my next question as to how much of this is about domestic politics in the countries that have taken this drastic step of banning flights coming from southern African countries. How much of it is about science versus domestic politics? I speak here with the UK, which faced heavy criticism, Boris Johnson, for taking time, and this time around acting with speed. And I listened to various channels, and that seems to be the narrative, that this is also got to do with fear that there will be backlash for taking too long to take some action.
Well, I mean, part of that's true, I think. Remember, if we go back, 19 months ago, it's clear that many nations didn't take the kinds of methods which would have halted or slowed down or retarded, at least, the spread of the initial outbreaks, because serious total lockdowns of borders didn't happen. Now, I just want to note for as a footnote here, the Chinese, for example, still have effectively the lockdown on international travel they put in place, a year and a half ago, and they have seen, they felt no reason yet to change that. So, you're not going to get to China very easily from southern Africa or pretty much any place else. Part of it also is, I think, you're getting to the nub of it. You have to look like you're doing something. You have to look like you're in charge somehow of guiding the process of dealing with this. The governor of Texas, a strong conservative Republican type, issued statements which boggle my mind, and probably yours as well, that South Africans were swarming into Texas to spread the disease. Now, statements like that don't help anything other than unless you want fear to take over. Yeah. So the Biden administration, in taking its steps that it did, and I guess it's now 12 or 13 other larger nations have done similar things, from East Asia to Europe to the U.S. They're doing this, in effect, to gain time. It's not going to be an instant discovery of the toxicity or virulence of this particular variant. It's not going to be an instant moment of discovery as to whether or not the current vaccines solve the problem for this new variant. And it's not going to be instant as to how quickly this variant can spread.
Yeah.
And so, it's sort of like a referee that blows the whistle and says, wait a minute, there's a guy on the field who looks like he's broken his leg. Let's hold off play for a minute or two.
Sure.
Is that superb public policy? Well, probably not, but it seems to be a response to emotional exhaustion and fear in equal shares among many populations.
Brookes Spector, let's leave it there, international relations expert and associate editor at the Daily Maverick. Thank you very much. And it reminds me of that governor of Texas and the amount of fun people had taking pot shots at him for not knowing his map, or perhaps even suggesting that he takes geography lessons. You will have to go on Twitter to have a look at exactly what he suggested there.